Good evening. You are watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq sends a cable of greetings to the President of Iran on his country's National Day. The Sultanate's smooth transition of power after the death of His Majesty Sultan Qaboos is hailed by the international community. The first conference on education and learning discusses in Muscat re-imaging teaching to achieve maximum learning levels from students. And China reports a rise in new virus cases and the death toll increased to more than 900.
أقسم بالله العظيم أن أحترم النظام الأساسي للدولة والقوانين، وأن أرعى مصالح المواطنين وحرياتهم رعاية كاملة، وأن أحافظ على استقلال الوطن وسلامة أراضيه.
His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq sent a cable of greetings to His Excellency Dr. Hassan Rouhani of Iran on his country's National Day. Oman is a country with a deep-rooted past and civilization and the royal family since the time of its founder Imam Ahmed bin Saeed until His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq served the humanity and played a great role in spreading the message of Islam over the seas. Since the past times, Oman also had a number of great scholars and military commanders. The smooth transition of power after the death of His Majesty Sultan Qaboos was a good gesture, and it was praised by the international community and the public in general. Back in 1740, Oman witnessed a historical moment as Imam Ahmed bin Saeed al-Busaidi was chosen as the leader of the country. People saw in him the courage of Malik ibn Fahd and the wisdom of Jafar ibn al-Julanda and the valor of al-Muhallab bin Abi Sufra, as well as the justice of the righteous Imams. He unified all and created a great naval power that contributed in bringing back the commercial activities to the ports of the Sultanate. He was followed by generations of sultans and imams that ruled two continents, such as Saeed bin Sultan, the grandson of Imam Ahmed bin Saeed, that unified the Omani Empire politically and economically, as the historical books narrate his great achievements during that era. In a bright moment of the history of Oman, His Majesty Sultan Qaboos was born to bring back the glory of the past, to uplift the country through a blessed renaissance that played a great role in the development of every part of Oman. The royal family ruled the country for more than 275 years, and since that time until this day, it dedicated each moment to make Oman a better country. After His Majesty Sultan Qaboos, may Allah rest his soul in peace, passed away, the royal family convened and decided in gratitude and appreciation of His Majesty the Sultan, and with firm determination to give the throne to whom His Majesty the Sultan chosen in his will. This stems from the belief of the royal family in His Majesty's wisdom and far-sighted vision. The smooth transition of power in the Sultanate shown great lessons in terms of politics, love for the country, and loyalty. The harmony and integration between the royal family and the loyal people of Oman will remain a great example of principles in the history. After the enthronement of His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq, he vowed to respect the basic system and laws of the country and give great attention to the rights and interests of the people and their freedom, as well as to preserve the independence of the country and peace of its lands.
على الصعيد الخارجي، فإننا سوف نرتسم خطى السلطان الراحل، مؤكدين على الثوابت التي اختطها لسياسة بلادنا الخارجية القائمة على التعايش السلمي بين الأمم والشعوب وحسن الجوار وعدم التدخل في الشؤون الداخلية للغير واحترام سيادة الدول وعلى التعاون الدولي في مختلف المجالات.
The first conference on education and learning in higher education titled Reimagine Teaching to Maximize Students' Learning was opened today at Sultan Qaboos University. The three-day conference witnessed the participation of a number of researchers and specialists who present their experiences in raising the level of students' learning through effective pillars on their performance and the quality output. The conference discussed reimaging teaching to achieve maximum learning levels from students. The researchers and academics participated in the conference confirmed the importance of the students being part of the teaching process and the importance of redesigning classrooms and other teaching means. The opening ceremony was held under the auspices of His Excellency Dr. Hamad bin Saeed Al-Aufi, Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries Wealth. Turkey's defense ministry said 5 Turkish soldiers were killed and 5 others were wounded today as a result of intense shelling by Syrian government forces in Syria's northern Idlib province. The attack came as a Russian delegation arrived in the Turkish capital of Ankara for a second round of talks to discuss the rising tensions in Idlib, the last rebel stronghold in neighboring Syria. 8 Turkish military and civilian personnel said and 13 Syrian soldiers were killed in an exchange of fire in Idlib last week. Syrian government forces backed by Russian air cover have been advancing into the last rebel-held areas of Idlib and nearby Aleppo countryside, seizing dozens of towns and sparking a large-scale humanitarian crisis with some 600,000 people fleeing from their homes towards safer areas near the border with Turkey. Turkey sent hundreds of military vehicles and troops into Idlib province in the past week. Israeli forces attacked Hamas positions from the air early today after fighters in the Palestinian enclave fired a projectile at the Jewish state. A statement from the Israeli army said the aircraft and fighter jets targeted a number of Hamas targets in the southern Gaza Strip, noting a training compound and military infrastructures were included in the attack. There were no reports from Gaza of casualties or damage. Last night, a projectile was launched from Gaza at southern Israel, triggering air raids sirens and sending thousands to bomb shelters. China reported a rise in new virus cases today, denting optimism that disease control measures, including isolating major cities, might be working, while the operator of a cruise ship in Japan reported dozens of new cases. More Chinese workers and shoppers went back to offices and markets following the Lunar New Year, which was extended to discourage travel and reduce the risk of the virus spreading. The mainland death toll rose by 97 to 908 in the 24 hours through midnight Sunday, and 3,062 new cases were reported. That was up 15% from Saturday and broke a string of daily declines. Also today, President Xi Jinping visited a Beijing neighborhood, telling health workers that the local communities were the front line of prevention. The Beijing city government told residential compounds in the capital to close their gates, check visitors for fever, and record their identities. Meanwhile, China's central bank announced a $43 billion fund to make low-interest loans to producers of medicine and medical supplies or other companies involved in fighting the virus. A Sydney beach could have been mistaken for a giant bubble bath today after seas were whipped up following a 4-day downpour across Australia's east coast. Houses were inundated and roads flooded. The weekend drenching represented the biggest sustained run of rainfall in Sydney and surrounding areas for 30 years, dousing some bushfires and replenishing depleted dams across New South Wales, the country's most populous state. Some rural areas received more rain in recent days than they have had in the entirety of the past year a starting and swift turnaround from the bushfire that have killed 33 people and ravaged large parts of the East Coast. There were 33 fires burning as of this morning in the state, but they were all at the lowest warning level of advice and mostly in the southeastern areas where the rains were headed. Still to come in our news bulletin. The $1.5 billion solar orbiter blasted off into space last night on a mission to capture the first pictures of the sun's elusive poles. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. Rear Admiral Abdullah bin Khamis al-Raisi, commander of the Royal Navy of Oman, received at his office at Muaskar Beit al-Falaj Major General Peter James Spark, Deputy Executive Chairman of the Hydrographic Office in the United Kingdom. During the meeting, the two sides reviewed the good bilateral relations binding the Sultanate and the United Kingdom. They as well discussed a number of issues with mutual concern. Rear Admiral Abdullah bin Khamis al-Raisi, commander of the Royal Navy of Oman, received Rear Admiral Muhammad Jim Okay, Chief of Staff of Turkish Fleet Command, and his accompanied delegation. The meeting reviewed the strong bilateral relations binding the Sultanate and Turkey and means of strengthening them in various fields. It as well discussed a number of issues related to cooperation in the marine fields between the two friendly countries. The Municipal Council in the Governorate of South Batina discussed in its meeting with Haya Water Company the projects achieved in the Governorate related to sewerage networks and monitoring the unloading process outside the allocated sites for it. The Council also reviewed the letters and response of the company regarding the increase of delivering water fees from the Public Authority for Water, as well as discussing the importance of reopening Al-Maladda roundabout in the Wilaya of Al-Msana'a. The Council also discussed with Asiyat Group the latest updates of Khazain Economic City, investment incentives of the project, Omanization, and the agreements signed in this regard. Tawasul organization affiliated to Special Economic Zone Authority in Duqm, in partnership with a group of establishments working in the zone, signed a number of agreements and memorandums of understanding to implement CSR programs in Duqm. The agreements signed include entrepreneurship training and development training on job, health, environment, as well as supporting associations and sport clubs. The number of craftsmen registered in the Public Authority for Crafts Industries in the field of distilling aromatics and oils extracted from local plants increased by the end of January 2020 by 182 male and female craft artists. The Governorate of Ad-Dakhiliyya came in the top of the Sultanate's governorates that attracted huge number of craftsmen working in distilling aromatics, followed by Governorate of Muscat and Governorate of South Batina. It is worth mentioning that the distilling process conducted in the Central of Distilling Aromatics Plant Center in Jabal Al-Akhdar is done using modern and developed devices. Europe and NASA's solar orbiter rocketed into space last night on an unprecedented mission to capture the first pictures of the sun's elusive poles. The $1.5 billion spacecraft will join NASA's Parker solar probe, launched 1.5 years ago, in coming very close to the sun to unveil its secrets. While solar orbiter won't venture close enough to penetrate the sun's corona or crown-like outer atmosphere like Parker, It will maneuver into a unique out-of-plane orbit that will take it over both poles, never photographed before. To protect these sensitive instruments from the sun's blistering heat, engineers devised a heat shield with an outer black coating made of burned bone charcoal, similar to what was used in prehistoric cave paintings. The 10-foot by 8-foot heat shield is just 15 inches thick and made of titanium foil with gaps in between to shed heat. It can withstand temperatures up to nearly 530 degrees Celsius. Now for the general weather forecast around the Sultanate. Clear skies will prevail over most of the governorates, with chances of low clouds and fog late at night and early morning over the coasts of the Arabian Sea. Cloudy skies with chances of intermittent drizzle are expected over the governorate of Dhofar. Winds will be southeasterly, light to moderate. Seas will be slight to moderate with a maximum wave height of 2 meters. This is the Sultanate of Oman Television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq sends a cable of greetings to the President of Iran on his country's National Day. The Sultanate's smooth transition of power after the death of His Majesty Sultan Qaboos is hailed by the international community. The first conference on education and learning discusses in Muscat re-imaging teaching to achieve maximum learning levels from students. And China reports a rise in new virus cases and the death toll increases to more than 900. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night.